Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more from the depths. And it's time to reach the final frontier, space. That's right. I made myself a space shuttle, and we're going to have ourselves a more immersive experience. We're going to go up into space in first-person perspective with no HUD up. Now, I've made this shuttle so it has nice visibility all around, even below. And let's go ahead and get going. So I'm going to throttle it up and start getting the thing up, and let's just point it straight up and start to get up out of the atmosphere. And you're going to start to see, fortunately, I think the craft's rolling around here a little bit, so let's try and control that. We're going to start to get up into the stars here. It's still daytime, but we're starting to leave the atmosphere. In a little bit here, I'll put up the HUD. Once we get to about 1,000 meters altitude, which is well out of the atmosphere and into space, at least as far as the game is concerned, we'll go ahead and stop. So let's see where we are now. We're at 800 meters and rising. Pretty soon we'll be above that 1,000 meter mark. And there we go, and we'll throttle down here. Okay, now that we're out up in space, let's go ahead and look at what we have for the space shuttle that I've made. So what I've done with this is I made it pretty simple, and I gave it a little bit of armament here with a couple missile launchers below, and the main shuttle area with a couple doors on either side so you can reach in. Now, the main rear section of the ship contains a very large engine and a very large fuel supply and a little bit of an ammo supply as well. All of that is kind of encased inside this rear section, and there's no real way to get in there, but we can kind of, clip through in our third-person perspective, and you can see all the engine and other stuff, and it's really stuffed in there, so there's not really a lot to see in there. But the main element of the ship is the ion thrusters, and this is something you haven't seen yet in any of my videos. Let's go ahead and open up the vehicle builder so we can look at what the ion thrusters are. So you're going to go into the Air tab, and under the Air tab, you're going to have these ion thrusters. Now, what the ion thrusters do is not only do they operate underwater, over water, but they also work in space, as the description here says. So you have two sizes. You have the smaller size and a huge size, and we utilize both in this the spaceship here. So we have the huge size right here in the middle of the rear part, and then we have a bunch of these smaller ones, as well as some on the side as well, and one down here on the nose, or underneath the nose. And a lot of the placement of these thrusters is all about just balancing the weight with the thrust. So that's why I have more thrusters on the bottom, for instance, than I do in any other placement. And that's just to balance how the distribution of weight and everything is, so that we can get a more controllable craft. Now that we're up into space, we're pretty much just hovering here. As you can see, my altitude's holding steady, although it looks like my nose is pointing down towards the planet. I'm not really going anywhere. It looks like maybe a little bit of a drift that's actually carrying us more up and out of, or up higher altitude-wise a little bit. But outside of that, we're mostly just floating and just moving pretty slow. And this is pretty much space. It's pretty simple at the moment, and as you can see, our perspective of the planet is a little bit rough around the edges. Mostly, and I think the planet still works like a sphere, but our view of it makes it look like it's more just a flat disk. But if we were to fly over towards that island, for instance, it would start to get pulled over to us. So let's go ahead and do that, just so we can see kind of that perspective. So I'm going to hop back into the cockpit here. I'm going to throttle up a little bit, but not a lot. And we're going to start moving over to that island, which I believe was over here. Yep. And you can see as we move over to that island, it's going to start getting pulled over into view. We'll maybe throttle up here a little bit so we get a little bit of speed going. Of course, the dynamic of the weight dynamics of the craft in space are a little bit different than they are in the atmosphere. So It has a tendency of wanting to nose up under full throttle. But now if we throttle down here and we look down, we'll see that that island has been pulled over in our map perspective here. So there is more beyond that edge, that disc that you see. So it kind of will move as we go. Now I'm curious to see if we throttle down all the way here, how the map is perceived at space. So I'm not actually sure where we are. There we are. Okay. So this is kind of the map. And it looks like there we are on this map. So we're very high altitude-wise. Maybe the map's not so much designed for this yet. But this is where we are on the map when we look at the map. So our perspective on the map is kind of interesting as well. And there we are, as I said, again. We can see a little bit of seagulls below us. All right, so let's get out of the map and get back into our body. All right, so in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little bit of a trip in space, and you know, a little bit of the fun that is. I would do a space combat, but the only thing is, as far as the enemy tree goes, there are planes, but I don't know if any of them. Maybe thrustcraft is what I want. I tried loading in an enemy plane before, and it was more just a atmospheric craft. Let's see what thrustcraft is all about. So, no, thrustcraft sounds like airships. So as far as I know, there aren't any enemy AI spaceships. Well, there's also an airship category. That's interesting. So I don't really know what these ships are. So, okay, I loaded in a enemy thrustcraft. It is going to be atmospheric, but I thought we would have a little bit of fun here and get a little bit of combat. So let's go ahead and open up the HUD here and get our craft going. All right, I have the missile launcher set in different groups. And let's go ahead and fire one off as we dive down here on top of them. And let's gain our altitude back up and cheat. Looks like he is hitting us. Ouch. Why don't we jump into third person's perspective here so you guys can maybe see a little bit more of what's going on. Okay. Took a little bit of damage there. Ouch, ouch. Fortunately, we are repairing in this mode. So it looks like the enemy craft has cannons as its main armament. So we're going to cycle around here and ouch, come back down and launch off our missiles. Let's get another one going here. Wow, that's a big craft compared to ours. We gotta turn off at this point. Flip around here. And I apologize if there's any slowdown. As I've said in previous videos, this game does sometimes struggle with a little bit of optimization. It is still an early access game after all. So we're not very heavy on the armament, but we're doing good damage, it looks like. Oh. Okay, a little bit of frame drop right there. A lot of damage. Ouch, ouch, ouch. As long as we don't take hits on the back, we'll be okay. Because that's where our main propulsion is. So I'm going to do a little bit of dodging here. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Taking a lot of damage. Let's flip back around here. Alright, I just lost my main propulsion, so give him another missile or two. Looks like one of my missiles missed. Ouch! Ouch! This craft we're going against is a lot bigger than ours. I've taken a lot of hits. Eventually we'll get main propulsion back online, but it might take too long. We have a lot of damage going on here. Okay, let's fire off another missile. I have no idea where these missiles are going. I think you need, it's 120 tracking arc, so they need to be in that forward arc. Alright, that missile just went nowhere. Ow, ow, ow. Ow. Alright, we got our main propulsion back. Dip around here. Get some distance. Of course, distance allows them to start lining up shots again. We're going to have to juke. It's also kind of hard to control right now because the right wing is really damaged. Alright, let's flip around. Give them a couple missiles to think about. Oh, big explosion. Oh, we got hit by debris. And we're going down. We're going down. Oh, that sucker has balloons. This piece of debris got stuck on me, and I'm doomed. Maybe we need to push that sucker off. I don't know. Well, now I'm just in a spin here, so I think cut the engines. Alright, where's the enemy craft there? Over there. I don't know if they have any functional guns still. Alright, we got it off. There we go. Now we're back under control. Let's move back around and give this guy a little bit more. Alright, where is he? Is that him there? Ooh. Fortunately, you can crash into the water okay. I would say the enemy's pretty much a dead duck. They're not officially dead, but we did a lot of damage to them. Now, granted, we did a lot of repairing, and we probably would have been in trouble if it wasn't for that. So in any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed a little bit of combat here. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.